Hello everybody. So what we're going to be looking at today are the product to sum and sum to product identities. So rather than write them out for you, I just copy pasted a picture here with all of the identities in it that you need. Well, really more than you need. We just need the two on the bottom, right? That's where the product to sum and the sum to product formulas are. Okay, and I think these are going to be easier for you than the previous section. The power reducing formulas in particular are kind of a pain, but product to sum and sum to product are pretty straightforward, right? There's no square roots, there's no pluses and minuses, that kind of stuff. Just very straightforward. So you can see them right there on your screen now, and yeah, we're going to try them out and see how they go. So yeah, without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started with them. So I'm not going to list them all out. You can see them right there. So what are you going to have to do with them? Well, you're going to have to do things like try to simplify expressions. Like here's one that's a little bit weird. They give you, well, it's not weird, but they give you this. They say 8 cosine beta cosine 2 beta. And it's another one of those problems where they say, you know, which of the following is equivalent. And so really you're picking off of a list. But you can always interpret that as just simplify, right? If we simplify this, we'll see what we get. All right, and the way you would use these identities is you would say, well, first of all, what are we trying to do here? Look at this. You've got a cosine times a cosine, right? Multiplication, cosine times cosine. So that is multiplication. So we're going to use a product to sum rule, right? Because cosine is a product. Cosine beta, cosine 2 beta is a product. So we can apply the sum or product to sum rule. Now you want to apply the sum to product rule, then, or sorry, product to sum rule, then you need to figure out which one you're going to be working with. So you look at your product to sum rules, and we have a cosine and a cosine, right? So we've got this case, oops, I always do that every time. We're in this case right here, right? Because we have a cosine. And in the formula there, you can see cosine x, cosine y. We have cosine beta, cosine 2 beta. So that's a little bit weird. But in the formula here, we're going to be using this as our x, beta. And our y is going to be 2 beta. And yeah, with that said, we're going to try to work through this formula here. So in the highlighted formula, we've got, what is this supposed to be equal to? Well, we've got an 8 out front of ours, right? So this 8, of course, is going to stick around, not going anywhere. And then we actually get to the cosine part. So the cosine part, looking at the formula, I can see that it starts with a 1/2, right? So we're going to start with a 1/2. And then it has parentheses, well, brackets, but parentheses. And then we have a cosine. And inside of the cosine, right, we've got an x minus a y. X minus y. So what are our x and y? They're beta and 2 beta, right? They're the green highlighted things, beta and 2 beta. So x minus y is beta minus 2 beta, like so. And then we move on to the second term, which is going to be cosine x plus y. So that's going to be plus cosine, parentheses, x plus y, which is going to be beta plus 2 beta. So what do we get? We get 4, first of all. And then I've got cosine beta minus 2 beta is negative beta, plus cosine beta plus 2 beta. Well, beta plus 2 beta is going to be 3 beta. Like that. What else can we do? Well, there's not a lot left to do, but one thing that they've been doing to you, so hopefully you're used to it now, is the even and odd identities. So there's a minus in here right now, but you should remember that, cosine of any negative theta is just cosine positive theta. Similarly, sine of negative theta is negative sine theta, right? When we talked about even and odd identities. So I can just take that and just drop that minus sign basically. So I could write 4 cosine beta and then plus 4 cosine 3 beta. And that's how it actually is in Newton, is like that. Okay? And so that's about it. So again, what are you supposed to notice about this? Well, first of all, that was very straightforward, right? We didn't have a lot of thinking. We didn't have to draw triangles. We didn't have to think about pluses and minuses. It really wasn't so bad at all. Just really straightforward applying the identity. Let's do another one like that. Just make sure that they go okay. So we've got this one, 4 sine, 3 beta, cosine, 5 beta. All right, so we have, again, this is a product, right? You need to recognize it as a product because it's multiplication here. So that's a product. So we're going to use the product to sum formula. We need to look up the appropriate one. So this is the one that's sine cosine. So you look up at your list and we have a sine cosine here. So this is the one we're going to use. What does it say? So we have 1/2 and then it's sine x plus y, sine x minus y. So I'm going to write it right here. It's 1/2 sine x plus y, and then a plus sine x minus y. So there it is. So let's try it. So what do we have? We should know that you have your x and y are 3 beta and 5 beta, right? That's your x. That's your y. So in the formula, we've got this 4 that we're just keeping, and then we're going to write this out. So we got 1/2, parentheses, sine x plus y, so that's 3 beta plus 5 beta, plus sine x minus y, so that's 3 beta minus 5 beta. So simplify. 4 times 1/2 is 2. Sine 3 beta plus 5 beta is 8 beta, plus sine 3 beta minus 5 beta is negative 2 beta, like so. Now, again, we have to think about this. We've got a negative 2 beta there, and that's why you're going to need to know that even and odd identity again, right? Sine negative theta is negative sine theta. So you take this minus basically and you move it out front, is how it works for a sine. So we're going to get 2 sine 8 beta. We're taking that minus out front, so minus sine 2 beta, and I realized that I forgot to multiply this 2 through, so minus 2 sine 2 beta. And that's it. So not so bad at all, really. Okay, so once you're comfortable with that, I guess, so that's product to sum, they're going to make you do some sum to product examples, right? So what do those look like? Well, the same. Well, not the same, but similar. So they say which expresses sine 3 beta minus sine beta as a product? Question mark. Okay, and so what are we going to do? Again, that really just means simplify. So what you're supposed to notice about this is that these are not being multiplied this time, right? This is not multiplication anymore. It's subtraction. So what are we going to do? We're going to use a sum to product formula. Sum means addition, but this is subtraction, but it's still on there on the list. So use a sum to product formula. So we'll look it up. So what do we got? You need to notice it's a sign and a sign, right? Sign, sign, minus. That's what you need to know. Sign, sign, minus. So let's look up here. We'll find it on our list of identities. Sign, sign, and a minus between them. So that is here. Right? So let's look at it. So that's sine x minus sine y. Like we have, is equal to, what is it? 2 sine x minus y over 2. 2 sine x minus y over 2 cosine x plus y over 2. And actually, I don't need these parentheses. That's the identity. Okay? It's really just the same identity we used up here, by the way. It's really the same as this one. It's just that if you took what this is equal to and you multiplied both sides by 2, here, let me go up here where I can point at it easier. Where's sine sine? Sine sine's down here. So if you take this right here and you take this 1/2 and you multiply it up to the other side as a 2, and then you do what? Yeah, then you have to do something with the x plus y and the x minus y, but if you do, you can do it. So it's not so easy to work out, but really the product to sum and the sum to product formulas are the same formula, just rearranged. I'm not going to prove that though. So we got it right here. This is the one we need. So how are we going to use it? Well, we've already seen pretty much how to use it because it's not much different than before. So this is my x, this is my y. So we need, what do we need? So we have, I'll write it here, sine 3 beta minus sine beta is equal to, all right, so what do we have? We're copying the formula now. We have 2, copying this formula. So we have 2 sine, parentheses, x minus y over 2. X minus y is 3 beta minus beta over 2. Cosine x plus y, so that's 3 beta plus beta over 2. Okay. So that's 2 sine. Work this out. 3 beta minus beta is 2 beta in the numerator over 2. Cosine 3 beta plus beta is 4 beta over 2. So that is 2 sine beta. Cosine 4 beta over 2 is going to be 2 beta. And that is your answer. Okay, so pretty straightforward. I'm going to try to get one that's a little bit different maybe, if possible. I don't know. All right, here's one more of these. And I think we might actually be almost done with this. This is a very quick section here. So this says, which of the following correctly expresses this? Sorry about that. So which expresses cosine 2 beta plus cosine 6 beta as a product? So that's the same question as the previous one, really, but this one's a cosine cosine with a plus, right? Cosine cosine with a plus. Cosine cosine plus. So we look up here. Cosine cosine plus. Looks like it's this one. Cosine cosine plus, right? There. Cosine cosine plus. So it's 2. So what is it over here? 2 cosine cosine plus minus. Okay, I think I can remember that. You think? I don't. 2 cosine cosine plus minus. Cosine oops. Is that it? Cosine cosine plus minus? Cosine cosine plus minus. Yeah, okay, that's right. So that's the correct formula. So we'll apply it here. Not going to write it all out again. So what's our x? What's our y? Of course, this is my x. This is my y. Right? X, y. So we've got 2 cosine x plus y. So that's 2 beta plus 6 beta over 2. Another cosine x minus y. So that's 2 beta minus 6 beta over 2. So that's 2 cosine 2 beta plus 6 beta is 8 beta over 2. Cosine 2 beta minus 6 beta is minus 4 beta over 2. So I can, first of all, divide those 2's. So I'm going to get cosine 8 beta over 2 is 4 beta. 4 beta over 2 is going to be 2 beta. It's negative. And then you have to use your even odd identity. Remember that for a cosine, it just kind of disappears. So even and odd identity again. And we're going to get just 2 cosine 4 beta cosine 2 beta. Okay. Let us see. Anything else in here? Nope. That's it. That is it. So nice short section there for you guys. There's really only those 2 types of questions. Hard part is going to be remembering to do the even and odd formulas, but I don't think it's that bad. So yeah, that's it. So nice easy lecture, and I'm gonna do another one right now, so we'll post them both up at the same time. Oh, it's still playing. Stop.